Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our program, Naniki Palmi. Today we have the great privilege and honor of having with us writer, director, producer, and lead actress of comedy drama Catherine Upside Down, Allie Loukas. Allie, welcome to our program, and thank you so much for being with us here today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Now, before we begin talking about Catherine Upside Down, how did you decide to get involved with film? Was it something you always wanted?
It is something that I always wanted. I started off in college with writing, and then the writing sort of funneled into directing, and I've always also wanted to do acting. So I was kind of involved with acting as well at the same time I was writing. So I started off with writing and acting, and then I went into directing and producing. So it is something that I always wanted, but it took a little bit of a different turn than I thought. I thought at first, I might just be an actor, and then it was writing and directing, and then all the layers started kind of piling on top of each other. So it was unexpected, but it was definitely something that I did want.
Now, how did the writing of this film come about? We know it's about Catherine, a girl in her mid-20s, a fashionista, on her journey to self-discovery. Was that a kind of personal need for you to write the script?
It was and it wasn't. I mean, it's semi-based on some life experiences that I've had growing up in Lake Forest, and my dad's Greek, so it's not the typical thing that you see in that community. So I did kind of feel like I was on the outside, because the plot of the movie is that Catherine is this girl that meets her biological father for the first time, and he ends up being a plumber, and the toilet overflows, and it's just this disaster, and it's at an upscale garden party. So I do think that my life kind of did play into it a lot, but it's not like a personal story to me, but it does have some elements from my life that are kind of mixed in there.
At this moment, let's just take a quick glimpse of the trailer.
Catherine, please, no smoking.
I was trying to pretend like I couldn't see you.
Excuse me.
There's a huge shit stuck in the toilet. Massive.
Spiral-ish shape.
Whoa.
I almost passed out from the smell.
Well, that is rather inappropriate.
Very. Who's Todd?
My stepfather.
Elizabeth's husband? He seems like a bigot.
Asshole.
I feel sorry for her. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your sympathy.
Go find a plumber in the Yellow Pages or something.
So this is the moment where, Catherine first meets Bob, and they're having this disastrous situation when the toilet overflows. And here, she's about to discover that he's her father, and her mom is about to reveal it to her. And this is her reaction to her finding out that he's her father, which isn't quite the reaction you would expect. Her comedic sense is coming through there. And this is her, pursuing her relationship with her father, and she gives him a call and asking him to help her move into an apartment, and she's about to meet her new roommate. And he is definitely not what you expected, but she didn't take the time to contact him beforehand or learn anything about him. So she's kind of surprised when he thinks that he is half Latin and he can't pronounce any Spanish words properly.
Well, that looks really funny and really promising. Now, we see there's different elements in it. There's comedy dramas, we obviously said. So what happens next?
After what we just saw, what happens is that the trailer sort of goes into the more dramatic elements of the film, and it just continues on following along on their journey, their misadventures together after they discover that, they are indeed father and daughter, and just what happens in the aftermath of this episode.
And how's the ending? Are they on good terms?
Well, hopefully everybody will come to the screening and then they can see the ending. But I would definitely, if I have to give a little tiny bit of a spoiler alert, I'm going to say that it definitely will leave you with a good impression, and you're going to have a smile on your face.
And this looks like an independent film, correct?
It is an independent film, but it's a commercial kind of independent film, so it has this mainstream vibe, like a John Hughes style film, and so there's something that's in it for everybody, and it's really not your typical independent movie. It's gonna leave you with a good feeling, with a smile on your face, and it's definitely something that's for a wide audience.
And who inspired you? Like, which directors? I saw on your website that you love Tarantino.
Which is kind of funny because this isn't really that much like Tarantino, but he does have some comedic elements in his film. So I definitely say Quentin Tarantino, and my largest inspiration is John Hughes. So I'm trying to, with my film, I think that there's never been a revival of a John Hughes style. So it's kind of going along that same thought process that John Hughes had of incorporating, the North Shore town with the Chicago themes. Everything's, light, but has all these dramatic layers in it. So reviving this John Hughes style, which I think was so brilliant, with, a modern twist. So it's from a female perspective as well.
Now, apart from lead actress, you also wrote, directed, produced. So you had 4 roles. How easy or difficult was that, considering it's your debut film?
It was very difficult. I think it was one of probably the most difficult things I've ever had to do. You're wearing all these different hats, and there's, element of confusion there because you have to do so many things. But it's also a good thing because you're controlling all of the aspects of the film. You know exactly what's going on. You know exactly what you want. There's never really a question, what did the writer intend here? How should I direct these actors? Because you kind of know all of the elements, but at the same time, it is really difficult. But it was a very good learning experience, and I wouldn't trade it for another way, but it was hard.
And which role do you identify most with?
I think in this project in particular, I would identify most with being the director, just because it encompasses all of the aspects of it. The writing, the acting, the producing. I was there all the time editing. So with the directing for this project, because it's just so many things were involved and so many layers that I feel like if I wasn't the director on it, it would have turned out completely differently. So I would have to say directing.
And how long did it take you to write the script?
The script was a really long process. I started that when I first, I used to live in Los Angeles for a little while. So when I first moved out there, which was about 2008, I started writing it, and then we went into production in 2013, and I was writing it all the way up until then. So, it was 5 years, maybe even a little more than that, closer to 6. So that the script was the longest part of the process, just trial and error, trying to figure out, how to construct the screenplay, how to construct the storyline. So that was the longest part.
And filming and then post-production?
Filming was actually short because we couldn't really afford much time filming, so we had a really, really tight, locked schedule. We were shooting 10 pages a day, for the most part, 6 to 10 on, a 115-page script. So that only took about 3.5 weeks. It was basically the month of May. And then the post-production took a year. That was really an arduous process. That was the longest thing.
And what is the message you want to give out with Catherine Upside Down?
I think that the message is that there's a little something for everybody in the film. There's all different kinds of characters from all different walks of life. There's African American characters, there's gay characters, there's straight characters, big and small. It's not just one kind of person. So I think the whole thing is really a melting pot. It's really integrating all these different kinds of people. It's not just rich or poor. It's everything. So there's a character, hopefully, in the film that everybody can identify with. There's a storyline that anybody can identify with, something that they can relate to.
What should we be expecting next from you?
I have a script that I've written that is a Christmas movie, and I hope that I can produce that next. And it's a Griswold like John Hughes comedy, and it's a little more silly than this one. There's a lot of characters and crazy things going on, so I hope that'll be my next project.
For this upcoming Christmas?
Hopefully. I don't know how long it would take to get it into production, but I hope, yeah.
Well, we wish you the best of luck for that.
Thank you so much.
And before we close, you want to quickly remind our audience for your next screening. We know you just had one this past Thursday, correct?
Right, I did. We just had one on Thursday at the Landmark Renaissance Place in Highland Park. And we're going to have one on Thursday the 29th, this upcoming Thursday at 7:15 p.m. at the Landmark Century Center Cinema at 2828 North Clark in Chicago. And the tickets are $10, and you can pay at the door. And I want to invite everybody watching, and I hope to see everybody there.
And if someone would like to contact you, where can they reach you?
They can contact me through my website. My email address is Allie@KatherineUpsideDown.com. It's KATHRYN upsidedown.com is the website, and all the information for the film is on the website, the synopsis. If you want to watch the trailer, if you want to read a little bit more about me, you can go on directly on the website, and you can also link up to the Facebook page and follow it for updates, and that's facebook.com/KatherineUpsideDown.
Allie Loukas, thank you so much for being with us here today. We wish you the best of luck for Catherine Upside Down.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It was nice to meet you.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening. Thank you for watching.